on with this attack here now. So we have the opportunity to charge with this unit, and this unit, and this unit. Oops. Our archers are actually out of range because it's a range of 2. So, and these guys are also out of range. But as they begin their charge, they can fire. And I'm assuming they're going to fire at the closest range. That would make sense. And we rolled for those results just a moment ago and ended up with a disordered, which means that goes from being a charge to a shock attack. And the other 2 attacks were actually no effect. So that means we can now move to the shock resolution of these knights attacking the archers with their flails, which are still going to be kick off. Alright. Here we have, excuse me, roll a 3 and we subtract 1 and add 1. We subtract 1 for their defensive DRM, and then we add 1 back because of the charge. And so this guy is disrupted and disordered. Disrupted, I should say, and so is this guy, based on the roll. And this dude is disrupted and retreats. Similar type of result here. And this shock attack actually ends up against these 2 guys being a attacker disordered. So there's no effect, so he stays where he is. And that's that very first shock attack on that flank. So now we get to work out who gets to move next. Sails the seas, and off we go. We now. So now we've moved these guys, it's basically simultaneous, but when I fire my archers and crossbows at these chaps, they get to return fire. And the results are taken as simultaneous fire or exchange of fire. And then obviously we're going to have some archer fire here, and then across, these chaps across the line here are going to have to shock. Archers all firing at the one disordered, 2 disordered, and no, actually, gonna roll for a leader death. No, but he is disordered. I'm going to do all of these along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Alright, so let me just explain what happened there real quickly. We had a range here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units all fire at these pikemen attacking. And the net result was that we had a miss, and then these last two units were disrupted by the archer flail fire. And let's see here. Then here, I think it's pretty obvious what happened. We had two disordered knights, and these chaps fired as well. So we're now going to go through the exercise of doing the shock attack. Let's try and resolve all this combat. I've done all the dice rolling and all the calculations, and I'll walk you through some of it, but then I think from now on we're just going to keep playing, and if you have questions you can send me an email, or you can go look at one of Marco's videos, because his are a lot better than mine when it comes to explaining games. I play them for fun. Okay, so we had a charge here, and charge units can only, when you're charging, you can only attack one hex. You can't do multi-hex attacks. So I've made that mistake in previous exercises with this game. So anyway, we had a result here of this unit had to retreat and was disordered, and he has to continue his attack. Alright. Now on this combat, it got ugly fast, and that is because when pikemen attack archer flail units, they suffer a negative DRM, which is only a -1, but if you're disordered, it becomes an additional -2. So now all of a sudden we're looking at the -3s here, and over here it's basically a wash. So I rolled zeros for both of these, so these guys both were disordered and retreated. And this guy here actually executed a great attack, and this guy retired and is disordered. So when you retired, you move to the standard, and then this guy will probably have to advance after combat. I have to check the rule again, and then I forget what the last result was. A 3. Yeah, his attacker disordered, so he's already disordered, and there's no retreat call there. So that's the result. Oh, that's this chap here, right? So that's the the result of the combat, and I'll do the advance after combat in just a sec. Stop. We can move or exit from a zone of control into another zone of control, but we can only move one hex when we do that, particularly if it's a knight. The rules seem to be a little unclear on this in section 9 on page 7, so that's how I'm going to see it. It would be unreasonable, I think, to think that cavalry could not extricate itself from one hex, even if that was moving into the zone of control of disordered archers. So that's what we're going to do, and that means that we will have to shock attack these guys here, and that's what we'll do right now. So So it's a +7, and then +1 is an 8, and that makes that unit eliminated. So that would then put the Egyptians at 3 flight points, 25 that they have. Continue. We have to roll. Oh, okay, we fail. So now it's over to these guys. What to do? It's the Egyptians' turn. These guys are going to rally. Seek continuity. They roll a 2 and do so. 2 + 1 will still get this guy or him in action. So let's do this.